Today I fucked up by swimming in a Florida spring. When I close my eyes, I can still hear the screams. This was a few years ago. Took the family to Ginny Springs. About a day I fucked up a Florida water spot for a day of swimming and a little picnic. So as I was swimming in the crystal clear water, watching my son floundering around in his water wings, and just having a good old time, my son suddenly stopped, pointed at the water and said, "Look daddy, a lizard." I looked over and saw that no, it was not a lizard that was swimming over to us, it was a snake. After a quick examination, I realized that this was a water moccasin, and a large one at that, heading right for us. So yelling for my son to back away, I waded out to grab him and drag him back to shore. The snake was making a beeline for us, which is weird because most of the time they avoid human contact. I started to splash water at it, trying to slow it down enough so I could reach the shore before it got too close. So as I was backing up, slapping water at a poisonous snake with one hand and dragging a laughing child, who had no idea what was going on, with the other, I reached close enough to the shoreline to grab a branch that had fallen from a tree. It was long and pretty sturdy. It was perfect for what needed to be done. So as the snake got in close, I went all caveman on it and bashed it a dozen times with the branch. It worked. The snake started to float away, dead as a doornail. I then realized that all the people swimming around in this water would not take too kindly to bumping into a 4-foot dead moccasin, so using the branch, I launched the snake for a stretch of woods off to my right. Well, I guess the snake was not balanced right on the branch, and I was full of adrenaline, so instead of the woods, the snake flew high into the air, drifting off to the right where plop. It landed square on a picnic table. To make matters worse, it landed on a pile of shoes that a Girl Scout troop had left when they went wading in the water. "Oh crap," was all I could think, as I began to quickly swim across the spring to remove the snake from the table. But as I was swimming, I heard them. The giggles and laughter of little 12-year-old girls returning to get their shoes. I stopped cold. I was too late. I began to swim away, trying to hide myself as I saw the first curly-haired head approach the table. There was laughing, there was chatting and talking, and there was a pause, and that is when the screaming started. If you have never heard a dozen 12-year-old girls scream in horror as they saw a large, bloody snake draped across their shoes, I cannot even begin to explain the sound. Even as I dove underwater, I heard the screaming. Sometimes, at night, I still hear the screams. Too long didn't read, killed a snake, launched it with a stick across a table filled with 12-year-old girls' shoes. The screams still echo in those woods to this very day. Moccasin snake. Pile of shoes. There's a joke there. There's a snake in those boots. This is hilarious. The best bit is picturing you dragging your laughing child away while frantically smacking the shit out of the snake. I'm glad that ended differently to how it started to sound like. Bruh, I'm dead. This is hilarious. I love it. I love you. Sports medal. Bruh, I'm dead. Found the snake. This is fucking hilarious. I'm just glad no one was hurt. The snake would beg to differ. Today I fucked up by making my neighbor think I beat my wife. So for some context, I'm a really calm, reserved, easygoing guy. My wife is the more talkative and intense person usually. So we have an inside joke where I pretend I'm some stereotypical, loudmouth, abusive husband. I'll say things like, "Who said you could leave my house without my permission?" Or "I don't work in the coal mines all day just so you can dress like some cheap whore." I was doing some woodworking on our driveway yesterday and she brought out some iced tea. I jokingly told her this better be good or else you're getting another black eye, and my elderly neighbor was standing outside and heard it. My wife got a text from our neighbor a few hours later saying she heard it, that she'd be a witness if my wife wanted to get a restraining order/divorce, etc. We obviously told her we were joking around, but now she just thinks I'm intimidating her into lying about it to protect me. Too long didn't read, joked about beating my wife, neighbor overheard, and now thinks I'm an abusive husband. At least you know in case of emergency your neighbor cares about one of you. Your wife will get pulled out of the house fire, your neighbor might stop for a cigarette before they consider going back in for you. I was about 7 months pregnant at the time and had gone to bed with my makeup on. Woke up the next morning and really didn't look too closely in the mirror. I had a toddler as well and was just getting going on breakfast and activity time. I was dressed in my husband's sweats and a tank top. I heard a knock at the door and went to go see who it was. Turns out, our propane tank we run our washing machine, heat-ecked. And propane hadn't been filled in a while and the tech was out to check if we needed more. I open the door and this older man that I've spoken to many times, just goes white. He can't look at me in the face and seems so uncomfortable, and I can't figure out why. I've spoken to this man before. He knows my husband and my family. He's a very nice older gentleman. About 15 minutes later, after he filled the tank, he knocked on the door again. And I will never forget what he said. "I know it's none of my business but that eye looks really bad. Are you okay? Is he hurting you? Do you need help?" I was floored. I immediately asked what he meant. He just said the bruises. I got my phone out and looked at my face in the camera. Apparently mascara and a bit of eyeliner, and sleep deprivation LMFAO, can very convincingly look like a horrible black eye and a bruised cheek. I started laughing and said no, that's makeup, grabbed a baby wipe and showed him. The man went from looking like a ghost to blushing so hard he was stammering. I gave him a hug and said thank you. If God forbid that was actually happening, he could have saved not only my life, but my children's as well. He still makes fun of me for this incident when I see him BTW. My son is 2 now and I still haven't lived down makeup gate. Speak up, even if you're wrong and feel like an idiot, you might just be saving someone's life. The sucky part is that your neighbor will always be convinced that you're abusive. My ex and I were once watching a movie at home with our patio door open. In the middle of a loud, screaming fistfight scene, the landline phone rings. My ex answered it. She listened for a few seconds, looking puzzled, then she burst out laughing. Turns out it was a neighbor behind us, and she was calling to see if my ex was okay. She had heard the TV, and thought we were having a row. A Donnybrook, if you will. I guess we needed to turn the TV down. One of my old teachers told us that while she was visiting her husband in the hospital, she happened to make a joke about beating him. A nurse was in the room when she said it, and immediately kicked her out of the room. The nurse then privately questioned the husband to find out if he was being abused and if he felt safe going home with his wife after finishing his hospital stay. Apparently it took a lot of effort to convince her that he was fine. It's great that people care so much. I wish my neighbors had cared enough to do something when they undoubtedly heard the fights that went on in my childhood home. Just have to watch who you make those kinds of jokes around. Kinda cool of the neighbor though. Wish more people reached out when they see something like that. Today I fucked up by mocking my mom about sex and now suffering her off. My family is stacked like pancakes during the quarantine. My parents are still into each other, and I'm grateful. Although I'd pass on seeing the ass-pats and octopus entanglements I've witnessed. My parents have been taking full advantage of the quality/quantity time, blasting music on the reg as if we can't do the mental calculus about what's going on behind closed doors. Last night, I was cooking with mom as we listened to one of my playlists that we share on Spotify as she was telling me how sorry she was that my college life is on hold. We've had the mother-daughter talk about sex but mostly abide the don't ask don't tell policy. As she was blathering on about how special our lockdown time is, I jokingly told her that my siblings and I all know how much she and my dad are enjoying quarantine. She blushed, laughed it off, and I thought that was the end, until this morning when I wake up perplexed and confused, as she detonates my playlist against me, played at decibel level to blister ears. She's the type to double down on a bad joke, so before she could completely ruin songs for me, I quickly replaced them with the worst kids music I could find. I laughed my ass off when the super annoying and cringingly appropriate bouncy ball from Dora the Explorer echoed through my house. My victory was short-lived because I've spent the last 2 hours trying to take a college final while Barry White and Marvin Gaye serenade me through the drywall. TL Doctor teased my mom about having sex. Now, getting clowned as she gets the last laugh. Edit, her reign of terror continues. She's changed all of the names to my playlists. Some of them include, Sexify My Soul, Your Dad Has Big Feet and Too Hard to Get Out of Bed. God, help me. Edit 2, you people are amazing. Thanks for making my day. My BF is on the way over for dinner and who knows what shit is about to go down with my badass mom when he gets here. Be safe Feather-E1 and keep on laughing. Your dad has big feet. Oh my fucking god, why? I know, right? She's an evil bastard. There's a song by Pig Vomit called Is It In Yet? May add some hilarity to the situation. Also might not. Choose wisely. Getting exposed to all kinds of new jams today. Ha. Pretty much any song from 2 Live Crew, as nasty as they want to be. TMFC, how about some Dick Clarence Carter, strokin'. Former club DJ here, as you can tell from the age of the music, but if she wants to go scorched earth I'll find the music that makes her tap out. Good luck, smile. She wants to go scorched earth, I'll find the music that makes her tap out. Welcome to the chat, my wingman. Never poke the bear. Should have left the poking up to your dad. You are lucky to have parents that are in puppy love. They are 25 years strong and still crushing hard. Life goals right there.